Okay, this is the fifth and final review. So again, please watch this video at your own pace, pause when you need to, slow down the video or speed it up, whatever you need to do. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started. The population of rabbits on a farm grows exponentially. This month there are 30 rabbits and last month there were 12 rabbits. What is the growth factor? Hint, this is also known as the multiplier or the base of the exponential function. So from here, this is just going to be 30 rabbits from the current month over the number of rabbits from the previous month. And when you divide these together, you get 2.5, which essentially makes sense because 30 is double 12 plus 50% of it. So that is your growth factor. Find the equation of the line that contains the following points. Okay, so in order to find the equation of a line, which remember, equations of lines are y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. So you need to find your slope. And to do that, you need to use your coordinate points. So slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is equal to -2 minus -8 over 5 minus 5, which from here, this is going to be 6 over 0. It doesn't really matter what the numerator is because this is undefined. And when the slope is undefined, you're not going to have an mx. You're just going to have y equals some y-intercept. Now, there's no y-intercept here, so whenever you have an undefined slope, it's going to be a vertical line. Now, I just want to go ahead and graph this real quickly. Because if we were to do this, 5 comma -2 is here, and 5 comma -8 is here. So this is just the equation of a vertical line at x equals 5, because that's what it means to have an undefined slope. All right, for the next one. Find the equation of a line with slope is 5 over 3 that contains that point. So we have y equals 5 over 3x plus b, but we need to find the y-intercept. And in order to do that, just plug in your coordinate. -12 equals 5 over 3 times -6 plus b. So we have -12 equals 5/3 times -6 is -30 over 3, which is -10 plus b. Add 10 to both sides, and you get b equals -2. So your final answer is y equals 5 over 3x minus 2. All right. So find the equation of a line that is perpendicular to y equals 6 and contains the point -2 comma y. So if I'm drawing this out, let's ignore all the algebra stuff and let's just draw this out first. So this is -2 comma 11, which is like up here, okay? And when y equals 6, that means it's going to be intersecting through this line. And it has to contain that point. So that point is pretty much just whatever the x value is here, which x equals -2. That's the line. And now find the equation of line that is parallel to this that contains the point -3 comma 2. So first of all, we need to put this into slope-intercept form. So negative y equals negative 5x minus 3. Divide everything by negative 1 because we just want y. Y equals 5x plus 3. So parallel means same slope. So right off the bat, we know that this line is going to have y equals 5x plus b, and you need to find what b is. So we know that the slope is 5. So plug in this point that is on this line. So 2 equals 5 times negative 3 plus b. 2 equals negative 15 plus b. Add 15 to both sides. We get b equals 17. So your final answer is y equals 5x plus 17. All right, for the next one, for this next one, an exponential function in the form y equals 9 times b to the power x contains those points. What is the value of b? So the most helpful way to do this is to just plug in the points, right? Let's start with the first one. So the first one is 9 equals 9 times 0 to the power, b to the power 0. Well, this isn't very helpful because b to any number to the power 0 is just 1. So this is 9 equals 9. Great. Not helpful. But let's plug in the other one. 1 equals 9 times b to the power 2. Oops, 9. And well, this from here, divide both sides by 9 because we want to solve for b. We want to find the value of b. And we have 1 equals oh, whoops. This is 1 because that's the y value. So we have, I was thinking, I'm doing something wrong. So we have 1/9 equals b squared. Now, from here, we have to square root both sides. And when you do that, you get b equals plus or minus 1/3. Now, exponential function, because when you plug this in, you're gonna get 1 for both of them. So I think both of these have to be the answer. So that's your growth factor. It's plus or minus 1/3. All right. For number 4, find the volume and B surface area for the rectangular solid below. So the volume of any rectangular solid is just length times width times height. So really it's just multiplying all three of these sides. So 31.5 times 9 times 5, which if I did this correctly in my calculator is 1417.5 meters cubed. Okay, it has to be meters cubed because you're in the third dimension. Surface area. Surface area is just the sum of all flat sides. Now, there's a formula for this, but instead of having to memorize formulas, let's just use common sense here. This entire 3D image is composed of two rectangle-ish thingies. No, not a square. Is composed of something like this, two of them. And which are these sides. And then we have 4 of these sides, one there, one in the back, and then 2 in the top. Whatever, we'll make it like that. You know what? Why am I doing that? Times 2 times 4. So, the length of the small one, the area of the small one, which is 5 by 9, that's 45 meters squared. So 45 times 2 is 90 meters squared. And then this one is 31.5 by 5. And again, the area of any rectangle is base times width or length times height or whatever. And that's going to be 157.5 meters squared. But again, there's 4 of them times 5, which is 630 meters squared. So the full surface area is equal to 90 plus 630, which is 720 meters squared. That's the surface area. And that's it. No need for a formula, just use your sense of what a rectangular prism kind of is. It's a bunch of flat sides just pieced together. All right. For the next one, solve the following system of equations. You can use substitution, you can do whatever. I'm I I'll choose elimination method. It doesn't matter. Although with graphing, I'm not sure how you would solve this. So, right off the bat, I notice that I can multiply this side by 3. So now I have negative 6x plus 3y equals 3. And then this whole thing, once I multiply everything by 3, I get 6x minus 3y equals 30. Add everything up. I notice I have 0 equals 33, but that's not true. That means that this system has no solution. All right. Marie sells cars and her weekly salary includes commission for the number of cars she sells. The equation S equals 500 plus 140C models the relationship between her weekly salary, S in dollars, and the number of calls in dollars. Cars, C in dollars. Hint, your answer should be sentences that explain what they mean of the context of the question. Interpret what the slope means. So the slope 140 means, because take a look here. This is 140 times C, and C represents cars. So that since that's multiplication, that would mean means each car Marie sells adds $140 to her weekly salary. I can't spell. Okay, super. Interpret what the y-intercept means. So the y-intercept is when x equals 0. So in this case, if you were to set C equal to 0, so S equals 500 plus 140 times 0, well, that's just 500. So the y-intercept, 500. And y-intercepts always indicate starting values. So this means that Marie's starting salary is $500 per week. Okay, Graph the equation. Oh my God. And move to the other side. Simple fix. Okay. Oh, that means all this. Damn. Oh, whatever. So y equals -4. That's just a straight line, straight horizontal line crossing y equals 4. That's it. Okay. The difference of two supplementary angles is 8 degrees. Find the measure of the angles. So I've said this a lot in the other ones, the other reviews. Supplementary means two angles that sum to 180 degrees. So essentially, this is what you have. If one angle plus some other angle, if they're supplementary, that means it's 180 degrees. And it's saying the difference, which is subtraction, of these two same angles that are supplementary to each other is 8 degrees. We have a system. So we need to solve the system. And in this case, I'm just going to do elimination because what I notice is that when I add these two equations to each other, I have 2x, these cancel, equals 188 degrees. And now divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals, I think this is 94. Yeah, that's 94. 94 degrees. So that's that's one of the angles. And to find the other one, plug it back in. So 94 plus y equals 180. It doesn't matter which one. I just think the first one's easier because the second one you need to solve for y, and that's a negative in front of it. Not that that matters too much. And that is going to be 84 degrees. So those are your angles. I'm sorry, 86. I meant to say 86. Because 10 minus 4 is 86. Okay, super. Because when you add those together, you get 180, and that's how you know you're correct. Okay, Sam and Maria were shopping for school supplies. Each purchased different quantities of the same notebook and thumb drive. I'm gonna let X be notebooks and thumb drive be Y. Just because N and T are kind of, I don't know, I don't want to confuse people. So Sam bought 4 notebooks, so 4x plus 1 thumb drive, and they spent 32 bucks. Maria bought 3 notebooks, so 3x, 2 thumb drives, 2y, and she spent $39. Find the cost of each notebook and thumb drive. So if I'm adding these together, so one thing I noticed right off the bat is I can cancel out the y's if I just multiply all these by 2. Because when I do that, I get 8x plus 2y equals 64. And in order to eliminate these, I'm going to subtract them from each other just because I noticed 2y minus 2y. So that is going to be negative 5x. That cancels, equals 39 minus 64 is negative 25. Divide both sides by negative 5 because our answer can't be negative. And x equals $5 for the notebook. Super. And now for my thumb drives, that's going to be 4 times 5. I'm just choosing the first equation because it looks the easiest. That's 20 plus y equals 32. Subtract 20 on both sides. Y equals $12 for a thumb drive. Okay, and that's it for that one. Okay, Puerto Rico saw a population decrease of 11.8% since 2010. If the population of Puerto Rico in 2010 was approximately 3.72 million people, write an exponential equation to model Puerto Rico's population in millions after T years. Okay, so all you would need to do here, so this is A equals P times 1 plus or minus R to the power T, where P is your principal amount and A is the total amount. So this is just equal to the population equals the starting amount, which is 3,7,200,000 times 1 minus, so this is since this is a decrease, it has to be subtraction. And then you move the decimal place over, so 0.118 to the power T. And you need to simplify this. So this is 1 minus 0.118 is going to be 0.882 to the power T, and that is your final answer. All right, so from here, which of the following exponential functions is increasing y? Well, let's think about it. If I were to plug in x equals 0 here, this then the y is going to be 1. Okay, for the next one, if I plug in x equals 1, my y is going to be 2.2. So right off the bat, it looks like it's increasing. Now if I plug in x equals 2, my output, so this is 2.2 squared. So 2.2 times 2.2, which is 4.84. So this is increasing. And I'm not going to explain why because I already kind of did with here. Now let's try this one. If x equals 0, if I plug that in, that's 1 times 7. That's 7. Okay. Now if I plug in x equals 1, my y value is going to be 7 times a half, which is 3.5. This is decreasing. Okay, same thing with this one. If x equals 0, my y value is 1. Now, if x equals 1, my y value is 0.82. This is clearly decreasing. Now, for this one, if I were to plug in x equals 0, I always start off with 0. It's the easiest. I get negative 5. If I plug in x equals 1, I get negative 5 times whatever that is. Which is going to be, pretty sure, 5.4. Negative 5.4. Negative 5.4. This is also decreasing, so it's not increasing. Values are going down. That's why A is the only one. Okay, last one. Determine whether the tables below are linear, exponential, or neither. So, as this is increasing by 1 each time, plus 1, plus 1, it looks like, based off here, it is adding 3 each time. This is linear. Anything that's being added a constant amount, that's linear. This one, same idea, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. And over here, what we're noticing is this is times 2. Okay. Now, from here, times 2 each time, you'd think, oh, it's times 2 each time, exponential. But no, that's if it were 2 squared, 2 cubed, 2 whatever. But 0.5 times 0.5 squared is equal to 0.25. So that's not 1. But here, 0.5 times 2, which is different, is indeed 1. So this is not exponential, nor is it linear. It's actually neither. Okay. Now for this one, this is times 6 each time. Times 6, times 6, times 6. This is exponential. All right, 0. So we get to 0, 4, 8, 12. This is plus 4 each time, which is linear. And that's it for this review.